glittering array of speakers and musicians gathered, and we're starting with Norfolk Wildlife Trust's own ambassador, author, activist. Please welcome Mr. Nick Acheson.
Thank you everybody for being here to support our wonderful river that cuts right through the heart of Norfolk, our wonderful Wensum, our priceless treasure. And that's why we're here today, because we're people who see treasure. We're people who understand the gift, the beauty, the joy of being human beings in the context of the natural world. In a way, this isn't about stopping the Wensum link. This is about saving the last fragments of nature, of natural beauty of the landscape. The story of the Wensum goes back 19 million years to the Cretaceous seas, which cover the whole of the south of England, at which time billions upon billions of tiny taxons rained down flakes of chalk to the seabed to create the chalk on which the whole of our civilization in eastern England is built. And through that, over millions of years, rivers have carved their courses. But in the world, there are only 300 or fewer chalked rivers. There are fewer than 300 of these extraordinary rivers. And the Wensum is in many ways the most priceless, in many ways the most precious of all of these extraordinary rivers. Bursting with biodiversity, with rare species which inhabit only these environments. And we, as the people of Norfolk, are the custodians of this river. We're all here because we love the river. We're here because we love nature. And we're here also because we believe in a future in which humanity can live in partnership with nature once again. Through the million years of our history in Norfolk. So the first evidence of humans in Norfolk is more than 900,000 years ago on the beach at Haysborough. Through almost the entire time that we've existed here, we have lived in harmony with nature. We've lived according to the rhythms of nature. We've understood the rhythms of nature, and in order for our own survival to be continued, we have honoured the rhythms of nature. And suddenly in the 20th century, we seem to have stopped doing this. In the 20th century, we seem to have declared ourselves the enemies of nature, and we want everything that we want instantly. We need everything that we need on our terms and right now. And we have infested the whole of this beautiful planet. And we are now surrounded by evidence of our wrongdoing. If you've read the State of Nature report, just published last year in 2023, you'll see that nature in this country is declining at a catastrophic rate. We have evidence of declines in abundance of the species that are common and all around us. We have evidence of decline in the diversity of species. We have evidence that climate change, which is accelerating all of these problems, is massively changing the biodiversity around us. So what's our response? What's the response of the County Council? It's to continue building. It's to continue the model with which we have been fighting nature, defeating nature for all this time. But there's going to come a point at which there's a payback. There's going to come a point very soon at which the rain doesn't fall in the way that it always has, at which the climate is no longer inhabitable, at which our soil no longer yields to us the crops that we need for our survival as a society. Now, the people who stand for this ridiculous road, who want to squander these countless millions on the destruction of the habitat of the River Wensum, they're not our enemies. They just don't see the problem in the same way. And it's our job as lovers of nature, it's our job to stand up and explain to them why this river is so precious, why this network of connected habitats that cuts right through the whole of Norfolk is so, so important, and how we can deliver a future for Norfolk, for the people of Norfolk, for biodiversity in Norfolk, which is far, far, far richer by helping people to travel by public transport, by reducing cars on the roads, by bringing biodiversity and green, healthy ways of living into people's daily lives so that everyone's life is enriched both financially and ethically and health-wise by having nature all around. We've walked today across tarmac. We've barely seen a street tree because we are right in the centre of built-up environments. And yet, just outside the city, we have this priceless, precious river bursting with biodiversity. And the County Council wants to build a road across it. What this road will do is manifold. It will destroy ancient habitats which have existed since the retreat of the Devonsian glaciation 12,000 years ago, habitats which are priceless stores of rare species, the barbastelle bat among them, one of the most charismatic species. Hold up your barbastelle bat now if you have found many, many barbastelle bats. And we already know from the construction of the Northern Distributor Road that the mitigation, in inverted commas, that is put in place for the barbastelle bat is useless. We know that the colonies of barbastelle bats along the Northern Distributor Road have been obliterated by that road. And here we have one of the most priceless, precious, biggest colonies of barbastelle bats in the country, which is going to be obliterated by this road. The road won't just do that though, it will also compromise the chemical nature of the river and the surrounding land. We're now faced by a problem not just of climate change but also nitrogen pollution, both of our soils and our rivers, and this road is going to lead to far greater problems. I won't be the one to tell you about the economics because I don't understand anything about economics, but rest assured that economically also, financially, this road is a disaster. So what's our response? Our response is to stand up. Our response is to be seen. Our response is to be heard. Our response is to tell everyone around us how much we love the nature of Norfolk, how much we love the communities of Norfolk, how much we love the people of Norfolk. And our response with compassion, with warmth, with generosity is to explain in every creative way at our disposal how we can live without this road, how our lives can be better without this road, how all of us need nature in an urgent, constant, daily way in our lives, and how our society can only benefit from bringing nature right back across our society, across the landscape. This is not just about standing up against a road. This is about standing up for a way of living which respects and loves and honours the natural world. This is about standing up for biodiversity in our midst. It's about standing up for a climate which is habitable for us, but also with the whole of humanity around the world, many of whom are threatened far more urgently by climate change than we are. This is about our love for the natural world, and I commend to you our opposition to this ridiculous, crazy, destructive road. But above all, I commend to you our care for the River Wensum, this priceless, priceless river, which stands to be destroyed, damaged, compromised by this ridiculous road. So together, we will bring it to an end. We will protect the River Wensum, we will stand against its destruction, and thank you all very, very much for being here to shout your love for the River Wensum.
Thank you, Nick. And now I'd like to welcome our MP for South Norwich, Clive Lewis.
Nick, what a wonderful, intelligent, melodic prose that was. It was beautiful to listen to. Now for the political rant. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for coming. I was making an observation as I listened to that, and the Cretaceous period was also a period of dinosaurs. So you'd think the dinosaurs at County Hall might have some connection with the chalk beds in the River Wensum, but alas, no. Look, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for taking your time, your precious time, to stand together and to come together against what is a desecration of our dwindling natural world, so crucial to our continued existence. I also want to thank all the campaign groups, the myriad of campaign groups here today, including Stop the Wensum Link and all the others who have been campaigning so hard and so consistently on this issue. I'd also like to thank the Labour and Green County groups for their principled and impassioned efforts to block this road at every stage. Now I know that sometimes looking at the news, especially if you read The Guardian like me, it's like doom scrolling at the moment. It's hard to find hope. But actually, the principled stand made by some of our local politicians on this issue should give us cause for hope. Together with campaigners, they have stalled, parried and blocked every machination of this Tory County Council and its corporate road building friends at every turn, and they should be applauded for what they've done so far. Like us here today, County knows this road is not just a white elephant that will do nothing for the long-term sustainable transport needs of this county. They also know that it's a death sentence for wildlife in the area. It's closing the one remaining wildlife corridor, closing it off, this city off from nature, choking those of us inside of it with the poison of millions of extra car journeys, a noose of steel that will surely strangle us all. The set-aside schemes and biodiversity offsets they've come up with are frankly pathetic, and they know it. It's actually an insult to our collective intelligence. Instead, they could be investing our money on schemes to repair nature, not destroying it. They could be investing in sustainable public transport systems, on electric buses, on free public transport across the county, cycle lanes, improved train connectivity and walking routes, and yes, electric carpool schemes, replacing the need for mass individual car ownership. You don't have to go back to the horse and cart to have a sustainable future, and we all know that. All it takes is a little imagination and the political will to shape our future, a future fit for our children and our grandchildren. Instead, we have an administration that is in the pocket of big business interests. Interests whose only goal is profit and growth at any cost. It's the same corrupted, perverted ideology that drives our own near-fascist government. A government that is about to commit a similar ecocidal crime and allow new oil extraction in the North Sea. A death sentence for the planet and everything living on it. They call it pragmatic leadership, but actually it's craven submission to the corporate interests of big oil. Turning to my own national Labour leadership, I say this. Pledge to cancel these licences with no compensation for those who invest in them. In one statement, they will have made these new oil fields financially unviable, stranded projects that never get off the ground, and nor should they. Instead, we should be spending billions on a just transition away from oil and gas, reskilling and retraining their workforces for a massive ramping up of sustainable energy and home retrofitting, repairing nature and prioritising well-being for people and planet. 28 billion, some say, should be spent on this green transition. Let me be really clear. My party should not be debating the merits of 28 billion or not. It should be debating about spending more than that figure, because 28 billion doesn't begin to touch the size of what's needed for a sustainable transition in this country. An investment on our future should have no limit other than the sustainable productive capacity and the democratically agreed will of the public. Why? Because the climate and ecological crisis and the economy are not separate entities to be bargained with in silos. They are one and the same thing. There is no economy, no future, without a viable climate and intact ecology. They are two sides of the same coin, and it's about time more of our politicians acknowledged this obvious fact. I'll conclude by saying that if the Western Link project, as is likely, is pushed back till after the general election, then my message to any new government will be quite clear. Stop this disaster, pull the plug on it, and let's divert any central government cash to building an affordable, public, sustainable transport system here in Norfolk, jumping over the dirty roads of the rest of the country and building a future for all of us that is sustainable here and now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clive. Now we're going to have a little interlude with some music. Please welcome Iceni Rising. More speakers in about 8 minutes, 10 minutes time. Iceni Rising. I'd now like to welcome a young activist and campaigner, Kate Benyon.
Hello everyone. First of all, I want to thank every single one of you for being here today and standing up for these places that need protection, and standing up for every single bird and bat and root and fern and tree. I also want to thank every single person worldwide who stands up against the destruction of natural beauty. I was raised by an amazing woman who has taught me from birth the deep importance of place and how valuable our connection and protection of land is. This love and protection and care for landscapes goes for the places you see every single day and those that you will never set foot in. And my solidarity is with every single person on this planet who is in this fight alongside us. But I was raised in between the thickets, hedgerows and woodland of Norfolk, and this landscape, flat as it may be, holds so much heart, hope and memory for me and many more. And these feelings have been there forever, long before the destruction of common land and the enclosures and the fences that labelled this wild landscape owned. This land belongs to nobody but itself. But despite the joy and the hope, I've also been raised in a time of great devastation. I've seen the effects of a careless government, poverty, homelessness rising, austerity, a struggling NHS, these false promises by the people in charge that justify inaction, funding cuts and a calculated attempt to undermine community and solidarity, an utter lack of care and love for the ground that we stand upon, and complete ignorance towards the ever-present climate crisis. No tears have been shed by those in power for the loss of this land, and streams of money poured into paving it while citizens suffer. Ecocide and extinction are happening right here, right now, and it's on our doorstep, and it affects every single one of our futures. We are the ones shedding tears for how our children will not be able to play in the woodlands and lands that we grew up in. And how are we going to explain to future generations that it was good for the economy when they can't farm the land that they stand on and drink the water and breathe the air? But by standing up for the ground that bore us and shouting for that which does not have a voice, and we will win this battle. The Wensum Link Road is one battle among many, but being here and seeing all of your faces together and hearing you all fills me with joy and hope and rage. And it is this hope and rage that wins these battles. Never stop fighting, and never stop fighting against those who want to sell the earth for private gain and enclose and obliterate it. This land is not theirs, and we will fight for it together. And never ever forget, the earth is not dying, it is being killed, and the people killing it will be held accountable. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kate. That was wonderful. We're going to now have Jamie Osborne speaking to you. Here he comes. I'll hand you over to him.
Thank you, Hugh, and thank you everyone who's come out today. So my name's Jamie, I'm one of the county councillors on Norfolk County Council, one of the Green Party, having campaigned against this road for a long time. And I remember about 6 years ago when they first really started putting forward this road, and they put forward the budget for it, and a group of people went and got arrested at the county council to protest against that. And at that time it seemed pretty much inevitable that they were going to build the road. That's all the media was saying that, the county council was saying that, MPs around the county were saying that, the government was saying it, the city council was supporting the road, and in that time that landscape has really, really changed. The EDP and the local media are very sceptical about the road, partly because of the environmental impacts. They're saying that actually building new roads means more cars, more carbon, more environmental destruction. That was something we weren't hearing 5-6 years ago. They're saying that the road is phenomenally expensive. It costs £70 million a mile, at least. That money could be going into social services, into the things that actually make a difference in people's lives right now. And people are saying on the streets to me, you know, potholes aren't being fixed, and yet they're wasting hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds on the Norwich Western Link. That awareness wasn't there 5 or 6 years ago. So all of this is really, really changing. And in fact, thinking about it, this year is when the Western Link should have been opening. and actually it's been delayed at least 5 years, and I think we can stop it because there's so many people out here, and the yeah, we can stop it because there's people all over the county now who are saying that the county council is not in control. They're not in control of the finances, they're going in the wrong direction on the environment, and they will not get this road through because we might have a change of government, and I really hope that a Labour government comes down against this road very clearly as soon as they get into power, which I really hope that they are going to do so. So really I think we can stop this road. In the last 5 years, as I say, it really changed. And I think looking back at Trainwood, for example, there would have been a road at Trainwood off the Marriott Way now if campaigners like the people here hadn't got together and stopped it. So thanks to everyone here, because you can stop it and it's going to work.
Now please welcome a couple of songs from Tom Fox.
Right, it seems that I will just have to use a couple of mics rather than... I'm trying to get a bit more of that going. This is an old Rosselson song from I think the 70s, and it's about the M25. So it's quite an old theme. But I remember thinking when I was in my 20s, oh, this is a song in the character of an old bewildered man. So I kind of feel that I'm growing into it. They're going to build a motorway through my back garden. No one can explain how I came to be chosen. Hang on, somebody's They're going to build a motorway, they'll rip up all my trees. Soon the lorries will be lurching through me cabbages, peas. A note came from the council, it was all about a plan, which I didn't understand, but it sounded very grand. They spoke of urban redevelopment and improving the environment. They said to ease the traffic flow, a bit of my backyard would have to go. Well, I don't know. I suppose that those who studied it should know best. And I wouldn't want my vegetable plot to slow up progress. Going to build a motorway through my back garden. No one can explain how I came to be chosen. They're going to build a motorway, they'll rip up all my trees. Soon the lorries will be zooming through the cabbages and peas. My brother lives in Lilac Grove, that's just across the street. I've not seen him for weeks. We always used to meet and have a pint or two in the old dun cow. That's just a heap of rubble now. The pawn shops disappeared, and so's the bars where we always used to go. And I don't know, those noisy great machines are working non-stop, and funny things are growing, and it looks as though the bombs dropped. The bulldozers are closing in on my back garden. No one can explain how I came to be chosen. The bulldozers the lorries will be lurching through me cabbages and peas. I don't get out much anymore, can't find my way around. The wind nearly knocks me down. There's tunnels underground, and just to get about from place to place, it's like a bleeding steeplechase. Day and night the traffic grows, it's best to close your ears and hold your nose. Still I suppose I'm better off than some, don't think I'm just sour, and I'm grateful for the grandstand view I'm getting of the rush hour. They've built an 8-lane motorway through my back garden. No one can explain how I came to be chosen. They've built an 8-lane motorway, they've ripped up all my trees. Now lorries zoom where once I grew me cabbages and peas. I'm going to do a Brian Pearson song now, which is a little bit more cheerful. It's called The Four Seasons, about the cycle of nature. Breezes blow through the wood in springtime, roots shrink deep from the wakened earth. Young leaves shine in the quickening sunlight, dance the song of the New Year's birth. The dance goes on and it's never ending. The circle turns and the singer sings. The year turns round but the wood in springtime does not care what the winter brings. When the leaves are long in the days of summer and the light shines through them cool and green, the great trees stir in their grooming sleep and sing slow tales of the years they've seen. The dance goes on and it's never ending. The circle turns and the tale unfolds. The year burns on and the storm in summer has no thought for the winter's cold. Blackberry, hazel and elderberry hang heavy and bright in the autumn days. Bright as a banner the autumn leaves burn red in the old sun's dying rays. The dance goes on and it's never ending. The circle turns and returns again. The year burns on and the wood in autumn gathers itself for the winter's pain. When the days are short and the leaves are fallen, through the hawthorn cold winds run. Through the dwindling days, the cruel-leaved holly keeps safe the memory of the sun. The dance goes on and it's never ending. The circle turns and the singer sings. The year burns on and the winter wood still holds the memory of the spring. The dance goes on and it's never ending. The circle turns and the singer sings. The year burns on but the winter wood still holds the memory of the spring. Thank you.
We're going to finish with, you might have noticed the black hole at the bottom of the steps, the black hole into which ridiculous amounts of money are going to be poured and already have been poured for this disastrous project. We're going to finish with a pouring of money into the black hole and some drumming to see us through the last part of this protest. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, does look a bit incongruous, doesn't it? Right, hold on, Ola.